The chains didn't disappear. They just became invisible. Right now, at this very moment, you are carrying debt that was designed centuries ago to keep you exactly where you are. Not broke enough to revolt. Not free enough to escape. This is not about money. This is about control. And the system that owns your future has a name. It's called debt. But debt is not what they told you it was. Let me take you back. Before credit scores, before interest rates, before the polite language of finance made slavery sound like opportunity. Go back to ancient Mesopotamia, 4,000 years ago. The first recorded debts were not agreements between equals. They were traps. A farmer's crop fails. He borrows grain. The next season, he owes double, then triple. Within 2 years, his children are collateral. By year 3, they are sold. This was not an accident. This was the design. The lenders knew the math, the borrowers never did. And the system spread like a virus across every civilization that followed. Rome perfected it. They called it nexum, debt bondage. You borrow money, you pledge your body as collateral. Miss a payment, you become property. Not a slave by conquest, a slave by contract. And here is what they don't teach you in school. Nexum was not rare, it was common. So common that by 326 BC, Rome had to ban it because half the population was enslaved to creditors. But banning it did not kill it. It just evolved. The same trap, wearing different clothes. This brings us to stage 1. The lure. Every debt system in history starts the same way. With a promise, safety, security, a chance to get ahead. In medieval Europe, they called it the Mano system. The Lord offers you land, protection from bandits, a place for your family. All you have to do is work his fields, give him half your harvest, obey his laws. It sounds fair until you realize you can never leave. You are tied to that land for life. Your children inherit the debt of labor. 3 generations later, your bloodline is still working the same soil. And no one remembers that your great-grandfather had a choice. This is the lure. It always looks like help. Fast forward to the Industrial Revolution. The factories rise. Black smoke pouring into grey skies. The peasants flood the cities thinking they are escaping the fields. They are not escaping. They are walking into stage 2, the dependency. The factory owners do not pay in money at first. They pay in scrip, company currency. You can only spend it at the company store. The prices at that store are set by the company. Your rent for company housing is deducted before you see a coin. You are earning, but you are not gaining. Every week you go deeper into the hole. And here is the brilliance of it. You cannot leave. Because if you leave, you lose the scrip. You lose the housing. You lose access to food. The factory does not need chains. The ledger is the chain. By the 1800s, this system has a nickname. Wage slavery. The workers are technically free. They can walk away anytime. But walk away to what? Starvation, homelessness. The illusion of choice is the most effective cage ever built. And the men who built it knew exactly what they were doing. They wrote about it. Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men in history, said it plainly. Pay workers just enough to survive, never enough to escape. Keep them hungry. Keep them working. This is not exploitation. This is efficiency. Now we arrive at stage 3. The trap becomes normal. The generation born into debt does not see it as a trap. They see it as life. Their parents had debt. Their grandparents had debt. So debt becomes neutral, expected, even noble. By the 1920s, America is selling debt as the American dream. You can own a home, a car, a future. All you need is credit, and credit is easy. Sign here. The banks are not worried. They know the math. They have known it since Mesopotamia. The borrower will pay 3 times the value of the house before they own it. And most will never finish paying, most will refinance, most will default, most will spend their entire lives working to service interest on a loan they will never escape. Then comes the crash, 1929, the market collapses, millions lose everything overnight. And here is what they do not tell you about the Great Depression. The debt did not disappear. The homes were seized, the farms were taken, but the debt transferred to the banks, to the government, to the next generation. Your great-grandparents' financial trauma is still in your blood. The fear of losing everything. The need to stay employed no matter what. That fear was not natural. It was installed. and it has been maintained ever since. Stage 4 is where it turns invisible. After World War II, the system rebrands. Debt is no longer called bondage, it is called investment. Mortgages are not traps, they are assets. Credit cards are not chains, they are freedom. The language changes, but the math does not. You are still giving away your future labor in exchange for present survival. The difference is now it sounds sophisticated. Now it is wrapped in paperwork so dense that no one reads it. 40 pages of terms and conditions, adjustable interest rates, balloon payments, prepayment penalties. The system has become so complex that even the people selling it do not fully understand it. But you sign anyway, because everyone else is signing, because this is what adults do. Let me show you the modern numbers. The average American dies with $62,000 in debt. Credit cards, medical bills, student loans, car payments. That number does not include the mortgage. Add the mortgage and the average person will pay over $600,000 for a house worth $200,000. That is 3 times the value. The same ratio the Mesopotamian grain lenders used 4,000 years ago. The same trap, the same math, just bigger numbers and nicer words. But here is the part they do not teach you in school. Inflation is not an accident. It is a tool. When your wages stay flat and prices rise, your debt grows in real terms. You are running on a treadmill that speeds up every year. The Federal Reserve controls inflation. The Federal Reserve is not a government agency. It is a private bank, owned by other banks, the same banks that hold your mortgage, your car loan, your credit card debt. They control the speed of the treadmill, and you are still running. Stage 5 is the breaking point. This is where most people are right now. You are working full-time, and maybe 2 jobs. Your rent takes half your income. Your car payment takes another chunk. Insurance, groceries, utilities, student loans. By the end of the month, there is nothing left. You are not building wealth. You are not saving. You are surviving. And survival is exactly where they want you. Because a person who is surviving does not have time to think, to organize, to resist. You are too tired, too stressed, too afraid of losing what little you have. This is not a bug in the system. This is the system working perfectly. Now look at who benefits. The billionaire class is not working harder than you. They are not smarter. They own the system. Their wealth is not in labor. It is in assets, real estate, stocks, bonds, things that generate passive income, things that appreciate while you depreciate. They buy your debt. They profit from your interest payments. Every month, a portion of your paycheck flows upward, from you to the bank, from the bank to the investors, from the investors to the oligarchs. This is not capitalism. This is feudalism with a credit score. And here is the sickest part. They have convinced you that your poverty is your fault. That if you just worked harder, budgeted better, made smarter choices, you could escape. But the math does not support that. If you are born into a family with no assets, no inheritance, no connections, you are starting a race 10 miles behind the starting line. And the people who started at the finish line are telling you that you are just not trying hard enough. This is gaslighting at a civilizational scale. Stage 6 is the endgame. This is where we are heading. Total financial surveillance, central bank digital currencies, social credit scores, every transaction tracked, every purchase monitored. They will know what you buy, where you go, who you associate with. And if you step out of line, they will not arrest you. They will just turn off your money. No trial, no appeal, just a switch. And you are frozen. This is not science fiction. China already has this system. It is called Sesame Credit, and the West is building the infrastructure for it right now. The same people who told you credit cards were freedom are about to tell you that programmable currency is safety. Do not believe them. Let me bring this back to you. Right now, today, how much of your life is spent working to pay off something you already used? Your car, your phone, your education, your home. How much of your future is already spent? If you are like most people, the answer is decades. You are not living your life. You are servicing debt. And the debt was designed to last your entire life. This is not a conspiracy. This is a business model, and it is the most profitable business model in human history. But here is where the system turns deadly. Debt is not just financial anymore. It is psychological. The stress of debt ruins health, destroys marriages, drives people to suicide. The average person spends 12 hours a week worrying about money. That is 12 hours they are not spending with family, not creating, not living. They are in a mental prison. And the walls are made of numbers. And those numbers were created by people who will never meet you, never know your name, and do not care if you suffer. So what do? You cannot opt out. You cannot go off-grid. The system is too embedded. Property taxes mean you never truly own land. Sales taxes mean you pay every time you buy. Income taxes mean they take before you even see your paycheck. And if you refuse, they will take your freedom. You are not a citizen. You are a revenue stream, and the moment you stop producing, you become disposable. This is the world you were born into, a world where freedom is a marketing term, not a reality, where debt is not a tool, but a weapon, where your entire life is structured around making other people rich. And the worst part? Most people do not even see it. They think this is normal. They think this is just how things are, but it is not. This system was built by people with intentions. And what was built can be understood. And what is understood can be resisted. The first step is seeing the cage. You just did. The second step is understanding the history. You just did. The third step is rejecting the lie that this is inevitable. It is not. Every system in history that relied on debt slavery eventually collapsed. Rome fell. The manor system ended. Company script was outlawed. This system will end too. The question is whether you will be aware enough to survive the collapse or whether you will go down with it, still believing the lies they told you. If this opened your eyes to the cage you are living in, subscribe. Because in the next video, we dismantle the rest of the illusion.